right, hey everybody, how you doing? My name is Dr. Aaron Ziegler. I am here in my teaching studio at Music Go Round, the Toledo, Ohio location. And I am starting kind of a new project, kind of messing around with some new ideas. And what I want to do is kind of take something that I do in my playing or something that I'm interested in and kind of share it with all of you guys. So it might be drum set stuff. It might be like it is going to be today. It's going to be drum set. It might be fills, grooves. It might be mallet instrument or mallet percussion. It might be concert snare drum. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with it every week, but or every month or however often I'm able to get around to doing it. But hopefully it will be informative and interesting, and you'll be able to kind of take something that I've done and use it in your own playing. So I'm going to start today with 6/8 shuffles. All right, so this actually was kind of, the idea was spawned. I shared a video earlier today of myself playing with my band, the Buzz Anderson Project, and we were playing Blue Jean Blues by ZZ Top, which is a slow blues in 6/8. And in that, there's a section where during the guitar solo, it gets kind of amped up, and I slip into a 6/8 shuffle. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of sit down and talk about that today and kind of show you guys what I'm doing in that. So to start off, the 6/8 shuffle that I'm going to show you, it's not something that I necessarily use as a groove for an entire song. It would get a little bit tiresome to do it for a whole song. Not physically tiresome for me to play, but tiresome for the listener. Maybe it's a little bit busy. It doesn't work kind of like if you think like "Fool in the Rain" by Led Zeppelin. That's that shuffle groove that he's doing in a 4/4 shuffle. He's doing that for like the majority of the song until it slips into the samba section. But that's kind of his main groove for the song. And I don't generally do a 6/8 shuffle as a main groove for a song, especially a blues tune. But I do like to use it as a way. I like to use it like kind of as a fill or as a way to build up intensity, build up excitement, right? You're starting to fill in more of the sonic space, and so it gets a little bit more exciting. It's something kind of more for the guitar player to solo over when he gets busier. Most of what I'm going to do and show you guys right now at the beginning of this video is going to be just kind of how to play that shuffle and how to get it to feel good and all that. At the end of the video, I'm going to have a clip of that video that I was mentioned a little bit ago, the Blue Jean Blues. And I'm going to, I have a clip of that I'm going to play so that you can hear kind of how I use it in the context of a full band. It's an overhead video, so you'll be able to see really well what I'm doing when that's happening. And you won't be bothered by having to look at guitar players and bass players, so it's even better, right? To start off, what we're doing when we do a shuffle is we need to start off with the basic kind of idea of what a shuffle is, right? And a shuffle is, if you think like old school blues, right? If you think that don't, right? That's the shuffle. So it's all going to be based around this feel, right? And I'm going to play some different shuffles, so just so you can kind of get that feel, so you can hear what it sounds like, and then I'll play some of these 6/8 shuffles and stuff as well. All right, so that first blues shuffle that I was just kind of talking about, that's the kind of basic shuffle. This one is a Texas shuffle when you're using both hands, an accent in 2 and 4, like I'm going to show you here in a second. This is a Texas shuffle, but it's kind of our basic go-to blues shuffle, right? So this is. You get the idea, right? So that's kind of what you expect to hear when you hear a blues tune. Right, so what we need to do when we play a 6/8 shuffle is we need to kind of combine that feel, a faster version of that feel, with our slow blues feel, which is going to be. Right? So the way we're going to do that is we need to make each of the 8th notes in our 6/8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each of those 8th notes has to fit 3 16th notes in it, right? So I'm going to do that on the hi-hat. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And that's a cool thing to practice too, because you can work that in, and you'll see how I work that in sometimes during the 6/8 shuffle, just doing the right double left. So that's a cool thing to work out too. Make sure that you can play that as well. So now picture those three, think of those 3 16th notes that we were just talking about. The first and third are going to be on the hi-hat, and the second is going to be on the snare. Right? So that's the first and third of each 16th note, and there's diagrams underneath these so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Or sorry, sheet music, not diagrams. There's sheet music underneath these so you guys can kind of see what's going on. So that's our first and third notes are on the hi-hat. Now, and our second note is on the snare drum. Now we just need to get the accent on the 4th, 8th note, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Right, so notice that on the 4th, 8th note, I have to go, right? And an accented snare note followed by a ghosted snare note. Right? Now let's just put bass drum in on count 1. So that's our basic level 6/8 groove, 6/8 shuffle groove, right? So now as we kind of mess around with that, we can add in kind of some variations and things like that. One of the things, the very beginning of that is just going to be kind of adding some more bass drum notes in there, right? Getting a little bit more interest happening in the bass drum. So. Seems like it's kind of a big jump. I know from what I just played a second ago, that'd be that basic level 1 into what I was just doing just now. That really just comes from doing that basic level 1 enough times that it kind of becomes second nature, becomes autopilot, and it can happen on its own, right? So you don't have to think super hard about it all the time, right? Now if I move that right hand now instead of the hi-hat, I'm going to move it over to the ride cymbal. I like to add hi-hat sounds in with my grooves. Anytime I'm playing on the ride cymbal, really, I like to add hi-hat in there. Whether it's a 4/4 groove and I'm doing. It doesn't really matter. I like to make sure that my left foot is involved in that groove in some way. So now if we're playing in 6/8, when I do 6/8, a slower 6/8, I tend to do you could think of them as quarter notes over the 6/8, or you could think of them as just every other 8th note, right? So that's my 6/8 groove with the hi-hat going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so that is the 6/8 shuffle groove, and kind of at its core level, and how to play some of the elements of it and a little bit of variation on it. I know I went through that really quickly, but I hope you can kind of get the idea. This isn't something where by the end of this video you'll be able to play the shuffle, the 6/8 shuffle perfectly and add all kinds of crazy stuff in it. You're gonna have to sit down and you're gonna have to get in the woodshed and work that stuff out a little bit, especially the very basic level groove, and play that a bunch of times until you really feel solid on it. And you can start kind of thinking about the foot separately from the hands, right? Instead of you gotta make sure that you have that kind of core level understanding, so that you can start to separate different limbs and not have to think about everything as a whole unit, but instead be able to kind of separate one limb and go, all right, I'm going to focus on this, and then make that fit in with everything else. So as promised, like I said, I'm adding a clip of myself playing with my band, the Buzz Anderson Project, so you can kind of check out how this works in context, and ways that I kind of use it, like I said, as a fill, as a way of like bringing intensity to what is a pretty slow 6/8 tune. You can also find the full version of this on my Instagram, the full version of this video on my Instagram and on YouTube. So if you want to hear it kind of build to the point where I've taken this out, this is kind of like the high point of the song. If you want to hear it build up to this point, you can check out those. You can check out the full video on those platforms. And yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me talk and listen to me play. And hopefully you guys all learned something that you can use in your own playing. So thank you.